We're not. There we go.
Disclaimer. The information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GANs processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion. That is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, we'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees, that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine, irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 325th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace. Here on Tuesday, May 7th, 2024. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I will be your host once again in this weekly series of workshops. It's been going on for over 6 years now. And as usual, we are joined with members of the Universal Council and the support members who will be presenting today's show. And without further ado, let's get into that and begin.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, my dear. Oh.
This is Mosfek, representing Bengali language as a Universal Council support member. Today, once again, we are gathered here for the 325th time on our ongoing journey of humanity towards its participation in the Universal Council. And we are here to provide a helping hand in this wonderful journey. I would like to talk a little bit about how this journey has been so far, not in detail, of course, but as we transmute from our current existence on this planet as a community to a peaceful, universal presence. It is development both within and outside. Outside, we have the plasma technology of the Keshe Foundation, which we are bringing together inside as well for the elevation of the soul of individuals, groups, communities, the planet, and beyond. And in this process, as we move along in this journey, we ourselves are transmuting into something new, something physical to something at the soul level. We started with some of the soul physical level technology. We still are involved in them. We are developing that as well as with our inner capacities. And this combined effort is to transmute ourselves, our community, into something that's peaceful, just, and prosperous. Welcome everybody to this meeting. Let us move to the next stage.
Hello, everyone. Andrea is speaking, support member of the German Universal Council team. Now we read our beautiful
and powerful wishes. We, the Universal Council, are here to serve the Keshe family and mankind, which means to support each other in every moment with the ethos of Mitra. Think good, speak good, and act good.
We are present.
We, the Universal Council, wish that all souls which are positioned to work in the research centers get the donation to enlarge the Keshe space technology for the future of man and the universal community.
We are present.
We, the Universal Council, understand the entire UEC mandate and achieve peace.
We are present.
We, the Universal Council, create conditions for humanity to connect cosmic fields of the strength of the Creator.
We are present.
We, the Universal Council, make available the elevation of humanity.
We are present.
Next, we have the soul connection with Elizabeth?
Good morning. Please get it a comfortable position. Respiramos suavemente, sostenemos el aire, nos conectamos con nuestra alma que se ubica en el cerebro. Gracias, alma divina maravillosa, por todo el amor que me das. Alma de cada ser, todo el amor que te recibí. Las amamos y amamos con ustedes, a través de ustedes, a través de otros seres. Pedimos permiso para conectarnos con otras almas. Pedimos permiso a las almas en la tierra, en el universo y en el únicos, que lo autorice para unirnos con energía fundamental como un ser, como el alma de la paz, para que juntos elevemos nuestras almas. Pedimos permiso a todos y cada uno de los líderes mundiales, los líderes de cualquier tipo de comunidad, para que se unan a esta alma de la paz, para elevar el alma, elevando el mensaje, para que podamos vivir bajo el ethos de Nidra, bajo el ethos del Creador, pensar, hablar y hacer el bien. Y así elevemos el alma de todos los seres en existencia, para que así cada ser tome del alma de la paz que necesita para su elevación y para su vida. Regresamos lentamente. Damos gracias al alma de todos los seres que son parte del alma de la paz. We are the soul of the peace. Thank you. Next slide, please. Thank you.
Next slide. Thank you.
And if you enjoyed the process that we just completed for just a few minutes in the dimension of energy, the Universal Council invites the Keshe family and the Universal Council family in unifying at the soul level every day at 9 p.m. Central European Summertime for the elevation of all souls and the protection of the physicality in the universe. And as we heard in the intro, if it's your wish to see peace, path of peace is made very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving, will create a position of change. So you're all invited. It's really a test for humanity in so many ways. And don't be fearful, no one to take the exam, because no one fails this test. As we also heard in the intro, your soul is a star, and you can see a star in the other souls. We know how much energy stars contain. Your soul or your battery or your center of energy contains huge amounts of fields. It's actually a star that was shrunken into 2 or 3 microns, and we call it the soul of the man. In the universe, they call it the energy center. And so we're trying to collectively join these energies together in a wide spectrum of fields at a certain time every day. Collectively, because we're stronger. You may have different fields than I have. I may have different fields, as we're all unique creations. And the energies within you may hold the key to unlocking or elevating other souls who are in positions of causing conflict and wars and all sorts of things we want to see be gone from this planet and be gone across the universe as well. So it's a very simple process. You have the full capabilities. You're not helpless. And you can use those energies to bring the change on the energy level. And yes, our physical mind always says, no, we have to protest, or we have to carry signs, or we have to make phone calls, or that's all work done in the physicality. But this work is done on the energy level. And working in the physicality is quite hard to reach some of these world leaders, religious leaders. You'll probably never get an audience. If I went to Rome, I probably wouldn't get to see the Pope, but I can touch the Pope's soul through my soul, because we have a master or a mother connection through the soul of the Creator, because every one of us carries that soul of the Creator within us. So we're asking you to practice using your energies to, in the energy dimension, create the change and see the change manifest in the matter state. And as we know, Mr. Keshe said, I'll handle the physical side. And we can see by what's coming out in the store and other areas of the physical dimension that we will, it's in a way complementary to what we're doing on the soul level. So again, this is something strange. We thought we were powerless, but you have huge amounts of fields and energies that you can direct. Now, if you feel this process is awkward or a bit uncomfortable, you may want to employ the gift of the 3 wise men, which we mentioned earlier, which is this thinking good, this speaking good, and this doing good within your life. By employing those ethoses, let's say, you don't take from other people because you're not thinking badly about them. That's actually a taking, as I understand it, or you're not speaking. You're, by thinking good about them, you're actually giving to them. By acting good, you're also giving to them. And by thinking good, you're also giving to them. So if you're having trouble in giving, or it feels uncomfortable to you, I would say try to employ the wisdom of the three wise men, which is the thinking, speaking, and doing good. And this will create a platform for you to be able to give more. The soul wants to give. So there's no question your energy center is built that way, as a total giver. So please join us in this process if it's your wish to see peace. This is the way the change will come, and humanity has to bring it through its own energies, let's say, and call it, and bring the change that way. There's no other way other than by giving. And we see all these systems from the Keshe Foundation, the physical systems that are made, are all for the elevation of souls. So there's, in a way, a 2 or 3 pronged process that's going on. But every day at the 9 p.m., just remind your soul, and you'll be surprised that you'll look at the clock right around that time and say, I can participate if I like. No one's keeping track. No one's has a scorecard, keeping attendance or anything like that. It's just you making a decision that you'll put your energies into this very large bouquet of beautiful souls to bring the change to the world leaders, or the soul of the world leaders, to the soul of the religious leaders. As Mr. Keshe said, we're not praying for the man, we're praying for the soul. And if you go back to the 27th, I think it is, Knowledge Seekers Workshop, or is it the 23rd, where you can hear Mr. Keshe about 2 hours and 37 minutes in, explain this understanding of learning, and this is what we're doing, and the Universal Council as well, learning to pray through your soul or give through your soul on a daily basis. And then if you enjoy it much, you can do it all the time. And this is part of the instruction from Mr. Keshe, that we reach that level collectively of pulsing this process on a regular daily basis. So we invite you to join us. This is the way the change will take place, through the collective giving. And it's up to each and every one of us to take that position. And it's very interesting. We often hear how if you give, you'll receive. I like the phrase that we heard: if you nourish the other souls, you get nourished in this whole process. And of course, it's creating the conditions for when you go into the universe of this giving and taking on the energy level. So your physicality is not really involved in this. And if that 9 p.m. comes and you're driving a car, or you're making dinner, or you're changing the baby, you can obviously work in both dimensions. You can be making the dinner for the family, and you can also be giving part of your energies to elevate the others and bring the change. Again, this is not a day job. It's not something you snap your finger. Sometimes that happens, but for the most part, wishes do take some time. And of course, our wishes we command. And this is another thought that we should keep, if the wish is correct. So we all invite you to join us collectively and bring the change in the dimension of energy, not so much in the dimension of physicality. So thank you all, and it's an open invitation to practice using your energies to bring a change. You can change yourself, you can change your neighbor, your son, and so on and so forth. You can offer the energies, and if the soul picks it up and has enough energy, it will change the direction of the physicality. And this is what we're doing on a worldwide scale collectively. So feel free to join us. No soul is above, or no soul is below any other soul. So we're all equal in this process. And you have those unique energies, and you may hold that key, those energy keys. That's what's needed to put in. So join us in this process. The sooner it's completed, the sooner we move on into the next step of enlightenment in this beautiful world of universal knowledge. Thank you.
Next, we have the final installment, I think, of the conversation with Claudia and Jacko. And let me just get that correctly set up here. Okay, here we go.
Thank you. And now I want to know about Sanya. How was in Sanya?
Yeah, it was really a special event and an experience which is a little bit hard to put it into words, but I try to.
Ok.
And
eu só vou traduzir. I will only translate this part. Eu perguntei para ele, agora nós vamos para um momento onde que ele vai expor um pouquinho sobre Sanya. Eu perguntei como foi em Sanya, porque ele participou, né, do evento. Então, ele vai mostrar um pouquinho para a gente do que ele sentiu lá. Ok.
So, if anyone would have told me you will travel to China a few years ago, I probably would have looked very skeptical at this person. But now that the progress in plasma teachings of Mr. Keshe goes so fast and deep, that in a way we should be prepared for all the unexpected and even more. I was talking to my boss. He knew that I would travel to China, and he was very curious how it went. And I told him it was one of the biggest adventures I ever made in my life.
Então ele começa: se alguém me dissesse, você vai viajar para a China alguns anos atrás, eu provavelmente teria olhado muito cético para essa pessoa. Agora que o progresso nos ensinamentos do plasma do Sr. Keshe está tão rápido e profundo, de certa forma devemos estar preparados para todo o inesperado e até mais. Eu estava conversando com o meu chefe e ele sabia que eu iria viajar para a China e estava muito curioso para saber como foi. Eu disse a ele que foi uma das maiores aventuras que já fiz na minha vida.
First of all, there was much insecurity about visa and entering China for many of us. I asked the Chinese embassy in the Netherlands and they didn't answer. Then I asked an institution in the Netherlands that is specialized in visa for Dutch people. And they wrote that in my case, there is no visa required as long as the stay is not longer than 15 days. So the plan was to stay for 13 days and I left it over to my soul to position and to trust that everything will be all right.
Então, em primeiro lugar, havia muita insegurança sobre o visto para entrar na China, para muitos de nós. Eu perguntei à embaixada chinesa na Holanda e eles não responderam. Então, perguntei a uma instituição na Holanda especializada em vistos para holandeses. Eles escreveram que, no meu caso, não é necessário visto, desde que a estadia não ultrapassasse 15 dias. O plano era ficar por 13 dias. Então, deixei para minha alma se posicionar e confiar que tudo daria certo.
Thank God it was. The traveling went smooth and to visit new airports and countries is something that's really nice. Stepping out of the airplane in Sanya, temperature was wonderful, it's nice. And also the flowers and trees were wonderful. Entering the hotel, I thought, wow, what a gorgeous place to be. Smell of the ocean, seeing many knowledge seekers again, makes one feel like home, equal where we meet on this planet. Meanwhile, the connection to those who were not there was also very intense and beautiful. Often there was so much energy around, I felt I had to spread it further to the other knowledge seekers around the globe. through the dome of peace.
Graças a Deus deu tudo certo. A viagem foi tranquila e visitar, novos aeroportos e países é algo realmente agradável. Saindo do avião em Sanya, a temperatura estava muito agradável também, as flores e as árvores eram maravilhosas. Entrando no hotel, pensei, uou, que lugar maravilhoso para estar. O cheiro do oceano, ver buscadores de conhecimento novamente, faz com que nos sintamos em casa. Não importa onde nos encontremos neste planeta. Enquanto isso, a conexão com aqueles que não estavam lá também era muito intensa e bonita. Muitas vezes havia tanta energia ao redor que eu sentia que tinha que espalhá-la ainda mais para os outros buscadores de conhecimento ao redor do globo, através da cúpula da paz.
Conference, the teachings, the new systems, and the love among the knowledge seekers family was just overwhelming. Please, all of you, continue the intentions and connections along our path towards peace. Often I get messages from knowledge seekers who struggle with people who do not understand what is to come. Sometimes their eyes look like, what the heck are you talking about? One thing is sure, they will be baffled as soon as the plasma product will become available on the market. And Mr. Keshe is preparing us to be ready for that, to guide and explain to others. And it's time to release the new knowledge on a bigger scale.
Então, a conferência, os ensinamentos, os novos sistemas e o amor entre a família de buscadores de conhecimento foram simplesmente avassaladores. Por favor, continuem com as intenções e conexões ao longo do nosso caminho em direção à paz. Muitas vezes recebo mensagem de buscadores de conhecimento com dificuldades, com pessoas que não entendem o que está por vir. Às vezes, seus olhos parecem dizer, do que diabos você está falando? Uma coisa é certa, eles ficarão perplexos assim que os produtos de plasma estiverem disponíveis no mercado. O Sr. Keshe está nos preparando para estarmos prontos para isso, para guiar e explicar aos outros quando for a hora de liberar o conhecimento em uma escala maior.
Please help and support each other till that time comes. To all of you who participate in the teachings and the meetings, for all your hard work, thank you from my heart and soul. We are the Keshe Foundation. We are here to bring peace on earth through the plasma technology. Thank we as one in the unconditional love of our Creator.
Por favor, ajudem e apoiem uns aos outros até que esse momento chegue. A todos vocês que participam dos ensinamentos e reuniões, por todo o seu trabalho árduo, obrigado de coração e alma. Somos a Fundação Keshe. Estamos aqui para trazer a paz à Terra, através da tecnologia do plasma. Agradecemos com no amor incondicional do nosso Criador. Thank you so much, Dick. So beautiful.
It was, and it is, and it will be the way of our souls that we are allowed to participate is a special way. And it makes one humble if you can be just a little part of the total. And as soon as souls are working together, we're on the right path.
Yes. Então ele diz, sim, e será. Será, agora está e será. Se a gente se juntar através da humildade e cada um fizer uma partinha, um pouquinho, a gente vai construir um mundo bem melhor e ajudar, né? Thank you so much again to be here.
Thank you.
And you are part of this show, this program. You always come back.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye to everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, that's our excerpt for today. Next, we have the readings from the last Knowledge Seekers workshop, the number 536.
And just to let everybody know, Rick, they can join the question and answer with the Universal Council on the first Saturday of every month. Usually the links are in the social media, or you could go on the keshbrazil.com and find that link. And I think it starts at 10 p.m. on the first Saturday of every month. So just mark that on your calendar. If you have an open space, you may want to join. It's a beautiful program.
Great. Thank you, Mark. Okay, next we have the readings from the Knowledge Seekers workshop. And I believe we begin with Shweta.
Rick, we have the PDF on the screen now. Can we have? Oh, thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. Just like this. Yeah. Thank you so much. Understanding the plasma technology and its power of application makes tools of war on this planet obsolete. And you cannot use the knowledge in plasma technology in what we call transmutation for a tool to control, to kill, because it's a balancing field. Now you understand how complete the process of creation will be when the man understands the process and the difference between the transmutation and transportation. Where transmutation will bring peace, reaches the soul of the man, elevates the man into the position of understanding the creation, and transportation still gives man the shackles of physicality and all that goes with it. In the coming weeks, hopefully by the end of June, when we start showing the first test in transmutation, we will come to understand how far is the strength of your own inner fields, how far you can handle your own fields, how much you can dictate to what you absorb from the environment, how much you allow the structure of the fields and what we call inertia to create a new dimension of you. The biggest shock for those who go through transmutation is, in a way, accepting the physical dimensions due to the what we call the gravitational magnetic field at a time, place, and position creates it. It will bring such a shock to man the first few times till he learns this is the new way. This is what I have to accept, and how can I live within it? It is an amazing feeling when when the body of the man, the physicality which you take a new position, is different with the emotion which the soul of the man has learned to work with in the dimensions physicality of the origin. When you observe and you watch your fingers, now they are they are they are attached to you, but there are aliens to you. They are aliens to you, and you have to get used to it, because when you where you were, it was black skin. Now you landed in Washington and it's white. The eyes were brown and now it's blue. Is this me? But you will still carry the knowledge. You will still carry the knowledge, the emotion, the understanding as a part of your transmutation of your origin. It takes time to understand this, and you become good at it the more it happens. Thank you.
As you have listened to the other teaching of the past time, I've been through it many times, and each time the feeling is the same. Recognizing this finger I have to get used to. These clothes I have to get used to. Because this is what I choose to be in. And many of you in the next few weeks and months will go through this process. It's hard to explain. It's not like going into a fancy fair show and just changing your clothes and appearing as a woman, as a clown, or whatever. This time is real. It's you. And you have to accept it because you have no choice. You choose the path, unless you want to go back and become that black man and everything else which you were living in. It's a happy life. No one said the white skin is a point of happiness. Actually, there is more misery in that than in the original color. Because you had to accept many changes to change color. Now you understand. The journey has started. There is no way it can be stopped. And it's for knowledge seekers to understand and to develop the art of transmutation to transportation. You travel from Tehran to Washington in milliseconds as transmutation. There you have to stand on the street, on what we call the sidewalk, and ask for a yellow cab to take you somewhere. You want to show your presence to your lover, to your son, to your daughter when you arrive. You cannot stand in the room and shout, "Hi, I'm here," but you can see me. Your daughter doesn't know the art of transmutation. She wants to go to a restaurant and have a kebab. So you have to accept the physicality. And your biggest problem is to explain to her, this blonde hair, blue eyes is daddy, but the American version. Or, through your soul, you reflect the image, the condition to your daughter, that she sees you, the same as your dream time. You see the mother, in that essence, as you. Thank you.
So you have to transmute and get in a taxi to go for a chili kebab with the daughter in the taxi, because you went there to feel, to touch, to show the love of the body. But unfortunately, it cannot be a phantom. You have to give yourself the point of manifestation for confirmation of those who are still physical. Now you understand how the way the government have to adjust. And this is part of the biggest problems for many governments in the next few years. And this is why we created one nation, one planet, one race, one structure to operate through the soul of the man. You call it the Universal Council. And one structure to operate through the physicality of the man, what we call the Earth Council. Now you understand how far ahead we have set up the structure for the eventuality of what is now in hand. One connects and adjusts and rules through this, and one through this. And somewhere the two have to come to communicate. Now you come to understand more how advanced everything has been planned. 5 years ago, when we set up the Universal Council's operation and the mandate And the Earth Council and its mandate was for today. When we introduced the transmutation and transportation, where through this, man connects with the universal community through the energy fields of the cosmos, cosmic rays and cosmic fields, where this rules for man in the dimension of his physicality on this planet. Now you understand. These two will come into operation in the next few weeks and months. Then you understand the position of the satellite souls. Now we are at that point. Now that we have achieved the first transmutation in the complete essence of the transfer of the physical body, once our team understands, once our team translates the information in the physical system, that you can do it till you learn it. Then it's our job to lay the rules till you come in, and the conformity becomes part of it. You have to understand the process, and foremost, you have to understand the responsibility of such a knowledge in your hand. You have to understand the gravity of what this knowledge will bring for man, and you are responsible for it. And this is the process which we have explained many times. Now the systems are here. The knowledge is getting understood fully by our scientists, and we are on the verge of delivering these in the coming weeks and months. I hope. My biggest wish is that no one dares to abuse the knowledge of the transmutation in the transportation against the will of those who live in a transportation dimension, in the dimension of physicality. Thank you.
Now you understand where the teaching has been going. And as I said, step by step, I open the knowledge to understand where you are going, what is about to happen, and what is your responsibilities. And in the coming weeks, in more depth, I open more, that by the time we reach Iran, by the time we reach into Washington and then Moscow and then Brazil, we can complete to unite the nation of man. In China, we learned a lot. In Iran, we will deliver a lot. And in Washington, we'll bring the man to be one lot. The governments understand there is no border. And what will be interesting is when we invite Iran military heads to join us in Washington in the Keshe Foundation conference. As much as we invite the Russians, the Americans, the Chinese, and the rest, for them to understand that there is no room for a man of military on this planet unless to serve the humanity. You will understand more and more as we reach the point, as we have completed and our team understand the completion of the transmutation, the transfer of the soul of the man, the transfer of the soul of the stone, the transfer of the man into transmutation to transportation, and then we give it a dimension of life. Then you understand why we introduced the materials, the cosmic materials there, which is now. And then you understand what is the use of them and how you can apply them to block fields, to receive, to transmute, and to transfer. Feeding the soul is different than feeding the man. And what it needs to elevate, or what you call it, reach new levels. And that, once you come to understand, works through cosmic rays and doesn't come by zinc and copper and the rest of it. And this is why we introduce what we call it, cosmic materials. And we are very, very careful. We are producing these materials and we are just trying to make sure when we send them out in the next few days, The containers cannot be breached, that people can reach it, can use the fields of it, but we cannot touch it, but he cannot touch it, and never try to touch. And this is the reason for it. And the elevation of the soul through cosmic ray, it doesn't come by zinc and copper. Thank you.
When you breathe, when you eat, when you put the seed of the interaction with the fields of the universe, it's not the air you only breathe. You breathe cosmic rays, different strength, which feeds the soul. The physical air, oxygen, goes to your lungs, converts. The energy of the cosmic ray you breathe goes to the soul of the man. The way you put the little seed at a time into your stomach as a food to absorb the other 80% simultaneously, you embed the energies of the universe to feed the soul of the man, which just passes through the back of the tongue of the man. You literally shoot it in, and what it needs, it receives. It continuously, this is what I just explained with the transportation and transmutation. Once we breathe as part of the structure. Even we have taken, because we change it into a plasma condition in our mouth, releases the energy of the cosmic rays, which is within that material to the soul directly. And the others go to the stomach as a physical dimension. So man should have understood this very much by why we need so many years to breathe so many times, to get our souls to a point that it matures to separate from the physicality. Just sit down and calculate how many times a minute you breathe, how many an hour, how many a day, and what's the average life in your magnetic field environment. Multiply it by that. You see then how many times you have taken from the fields of the universe. As part of the cosmic rays, does it mature your soul and extend it so much that it can leave the physicality? In the future, man will have these measurements. Now we understand the knowledge and science behind it. And then you understand why our lives are limited to a physical dimension of so many years, Earth time. When we learn how to tap into the fields of the universe, then to the material matter of this Earth, then you will see the life expectation on time goes beyond hundreds of thousands, where then we learn to convert that, what we call cosmic rays, into the physical dimension energy. And I've shown this in many tests, but you don't understand. And as the time comes, we explain more and more of it. But you don't need to eat to elevate or to hide you. You already, the way you breathe, the amount of time you absorb energy, you put the seed in, the soul absorbs the rest from the environment and what you put in. Thank you. Thank you, Rick. I think we can go to the next slide. Thank you.
Yeah, I got distracted and I'm trying to find it here. Just bear with me a minute. Okay, next we have the Universal Council mandate. And let me get that up here.
So it's me, Andrea, again. I have the pleasure, together with Dean, to continue with the Universal Council mandate. Today we read about the structure of the Universal Council and the solutions, the implementation of the solutions of the Universal Council. And it starts with a very interesting excerpt from Mr. Keshe from the 73rd One Nation, One Planet, One Race, April the 2nd, 2019. For me, for my understanding, it's indicate as infinity. Now, Mr. Keshe, our message is very simple. The man himself is part of the Creator. And this is the eventual understanding of the teachings. When you are part of total, you are the total. You carry all the essence of it. It's you who decide to what limit you want the essence to manifest itself. When you stand and look at totality, you have to be impartial to every aspect, be it the way you have been brought up, the way you were educated, because by being impartial, just look at everything else. You don't need to defend position. And not defending a position, you don't spend energy, but you add to the energy because from what you learn. Knowledge, if you ever understood, is sharing part of the soul of the man who gave you the knowledge. This is what man has not understood in most of the work of this culture. When you read something from Einstein, when you read something from Edison, when you read something from Tesla, when you read something from Da Vinci, when you read it, it's just a reading. But when you understand the reading, you will receive part of the soul of the man. That's how you elevated yourself. Reading a knowledge and understanding it doesn't matter what it is. It's receiving from the soul of the man because he had so much to give. Now you receive it. And then, if you can use it, you have elevated yourself to his level. And a lot of people don't understand this. Enlightenment is part of the field of the universe. It's you who decide how, at what level you get enlightened. And then, this is the process, of the progress, of the maturity of the soul. As we operate on two levels in parallel, soul of the man carbon 14, and soul of physicality, carbon 12. The same applies to the structure of the Universal Council. Therefore, what is presented below presents it from both perspectives to give a better understanding of the structure and operation of the Council. On this slide, you can see the structure of the Universal Council, and in the center is the soul of the Universal Council. Universal Council of 12. The rotation of all members, 12 councillors and 12 sub-councils, leaves in the main 144 councils, is by rotation of the members, and will be for the duration of one circle of men for 1 year. Thus, each seat on each council becomes a member on the main council every 1 year, which chooses its position by state of the soul and its sincerity of the soul in its group to serve humanity. The rotation of the position is by servitude and not by seat position. Thus, a whole race has to become supporter to the soul of their self, selected soul, that his, her, soul promotion leads him, her, to be at the seat of the council and then on the main seat of the main council. And now follows the explanation of the expansion of the Universal Council to that slide. The council operates as one circle. It's the small circle. Until it reaches a good number of members with sufficient understanding to form another sub-council. When this happens, a second circle is established. The second small circle. When the total number of Universal Council members exceeds 24, a third circle sub-council can be established, and so on. Members of the new sub-council are not necessarily the 12 members that joined last. Formation of a new sub-council may involve rotation of some of the members of the previously established sub-council. You see members from sub-council 1 upon the formation of the second sub-council can move to sub-council 2, balance it out in servitude towards humanity. Each circle operates and meets independently, but the efforts of all the circles are coordinated through the work of the councillors, who play a role of a bridge that is to coordinate the efforts of all the 12 sub-councils. Therefore, whatever a given sub-council works on, this is coordinated and communicated through the General Council Assembly, which is made up of the 12 councillors, can be called coordinators if more appropriate. In that way, a request originating from Circle 1 through this communication structure, after being discussed in the General Council Assembly, can reach, for example, Circle 2 or 3 or 4, etc. That is able to help in providing the solution. As new members join, the structure of the Universal Council gets constantly replicated. Each circle works independently in delivering solutions, but when we need arises, calls for help from other cycles. Each subcouncil contributes to the portfolio of knowledge and solutions that the council delivers, so that other subcouncils can benefit from the work of all subcouncils. The scope of the work of the council is further defined in the following subsections of this document. Now, Dean, you can carry on. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. So, this is the implementation of the solutions. The solutions proposed by the Universal Council are implemented with the help of the Keshe Foundation core team, Earth Council, Universal Council supporters, language communities, knowledge seekers, and the Keshe Foundation. With all of us united together as one nation, one planet, one race, we worked together through our souls, and our unity manifests the solutions in matter state. As depicted in Figure 2, the Universal Council embraces every soul with an abundance of hospitality and servitude. We welcome all wishes arriving from everywhere. They will be processed through the core team, the Earth Council, the Universal Council supporters, the language communities, knowledge seekers, and the Keshe Foundation. And this was the outer green circle. Processed by the UC members involved in the operation of the different councils. This was the middle orange circle. And in the future, processed even more through the soul level communications, which was the inner dark blue circle. So the solutions originate from the soul level operation of the Universal Council, again, inner dark blue circle, materializes at the legislation level, middle orange circle, and then are implemented in the appropriate communities, which is the outer green circle. The manifestation in matter state involves the relevant UC members, core team, Earth Council, Universal Council supporters, language communities, knowledge seekers, and the Keshe Foundation. Solutions come from the Keshe Foundation plasma science and technology. One way to look at Figure 2 is that each circle represents, going from the inside outwards, number 1, soul level. So this is the inner dark blue circle, core operation, line of communication across this planet and with the universal community. 2, legislation, which is the middle orange circle, the whole structure and decision making by the UC, the Universal Council. 3, execution, which is the outer green circle, bringing in physical solutions, involves Universal Council, core team, Earth Council, Universal Council supporters, language communities, knowledge seekers, and the Keshe Foundation. So now we go to page 7. So this is the purpose of the Universal Council, is to unite the entire planet and to form a bridge between the universal community and humanity. The line of communication at the soul level with the universal community is marked with the purple line in figure 2. Fig 2, the overall structure and operation of the council. So you can see that the lines that we were speaking about, the green, the yellow, the blue lines, and you can see how these wishes are delivered, and then within the foundation's core team, Universal Council, the universal members, council members, and all the rest, you can see that like on the blue line, solutions are decided on, and delivered. On this is soul level communication. Any wish can arrive from any direction or any level. So you could make a wish privately yourself and share that wish with us through the communications channel. And then that will be implemented and decided upon and brought forward into the Universal Council and then across the whole of the platform. So the souls, as you can see, they're all connected right from the start to the begin, from the end to the beginning, and from the beginning to the end. Implemented by UC, core team, EC, UCS, the language communities, the knowledge seekers, and the KF. And the line of communication, the purple one, with the universal community. So this is the part where this wonderful council has been brought together by Mr. Keshe, is bringing forward the knowledge, helping humanity to understand what is to come, what is present in this moment, and how the Universal Council will deliver and create conditions and environments for humanity and all the souls present to receive what they need in a balanced field of planet Earth and beyond. Thank you all very much for listening. I think that concludes now, Rick, for this particular reading. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Rick.
Next, we have an excerpt from the 536 Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And let me play that now.
To the science and technology. Up to now, the world of science was engaged in moving an atom, an electron, and call it whatever they could to move one from one position to another. The world of science never understood the completion and the totality of what it needs to be done for such a, what we call, a structure, for such a possibilities. And this allows us in a way to create, understand, and develop new technologies. As I've said before, when today the scientists want to move, and they are working on, is how to move an electron of an atom of hydrogen to another position. They think they achieved it. But what has not been understood, you can move many electrons, combination of molecules, without moving a single electron, by creating a field which all keep their work intact. In a way, we create a dimension, a new structure of what we call womb of the mother, which means we create a new dimension in magnetic field of the environment. And in this position, by replicating this in another position, not necessarily containment, we can move the whole structure back in another place. In a way, we move the box, not an electron. In this process, we achieve transmutation in full tact. But as you arrive in a new environment and the field is slightly different, then the electrons and protons and molecules of the same body attain a new position in respect with each other. So we deliver you according the way your structure sees fit to the new position. Transportation is a physical condition where we get you from A to B. You're limited to hundreds and thousands of years of man life to get to a position, or hours of traveling across this planet to get to a position. With developing what we call the cosmic ray units, which now we have tested, and you took it with you, some of you, as the new Bezos with the headphone, and with its base, is the backbone structure of this technology. Which means once we have completed this, now we know it works. Now we add this parameter together to it, and then you can see a new system of transmutation. It's a new system of moving things, but holding on to the structure. And because you work within the structure of the cosmic rays, when you arrive, you accept magnetic field changes of the environment, not the condition of the physical, the air, the temperature, and the rest. This is the difference between what we call transmutation and transportation. In transportation, the speed of the air, how much resistance you have, how fast you can go, what machinery you have, dictates when and how you arrive. In transmutation, we play with the magnetic field of the environment. So when you arrive, the field strength of the environment affects directly the structure of the what we call the body of the man, the box, the cat, the dog. Here you feel hot and cold. Here you feel Japanese and Chinese when you move from New York to China or Japan. Here you change the clothes of the man. Here you change the soul of the man, to manifest itself in interaction with the condition of the environment. And this is what is important for our knowledge seekers to understand, how the division between the two systems clearly is set out as of this now. In transportation, which we'll show in Iran, will be this. In Washington, we'll show this. And this will be done in the presence of Iranian, what we call authorities in Washington. Be it the Iranian president, be it the head of the nation, and many other nations, this will be shown. The same as in Iran. We'll invite the head of the nations to come to understand crossing this planet is minute job, not hours. And crossing nations is instantaneous in this too. This is the change. This is the new understanding that the man has to decide. Where we land, do we want to still carry on with our vehicles, or do we carry on with transmutation through the emotion, through the fields, and what we call the energy center of the man, which is the soul of them. So you understand the difference. You understand why when we say transmutation and transportation are two different matter points. Many people will travel this dimension. Many people will try to do this because this to them at this moment of time is too heavy to understand. I can accept going from Tehran to Washington in 10 minutes, a faster plane. But I don't know if I can accept to the new look I'll get in New York when I arrive or in Washington with transportation. Would the American authorities ever understand the gentleman landed is the head of the Iranian nation as a president, because he'll manifest using the transportation in the dimension of the fields of the essence of the culture of the land, in the emotion of the soul of the land. Would he still have that beard? Would he be carrying the turbine? Would he be there in the color of the clothing and the thoughts which he left Iran? The biggest problem for the Iranian president to travel from Tehran to Washington is what would happen when I arrive. Would I be recognized as the head of the nation? And then you understand, with the transmutation, there is no kingship. There is no headship, because you appear as a soul, as an energy transfer, and equal to the others who transmitted with you. Now you understand the dilemma of the nations in the coming time. I promise you, most of the world leaders will choose transportation as the transmutation unravels the truth about it. Most of the ordinary men of the understanding of the technology will transmute. We don't care if we are computer scientists in Washington, in Tehran, or back in China. Because it's the essence of the knowledge we carry in our soul. Does not matter how we look. But to man as a president, he needs the razzmatazz, the turbine and the rest, and the president of America needs his bodyguards to show who he is something. Now you understand, the division will come that the ordinary man will take over governments, because they govern by themselves. And now you understand the changes which is about to come. In a way, the Tehran conference or Iran conference is herald to opening the door for the next phase, that all nations are one, and we deliberately chose United States, that it shows no one is superior than the others, as all gathered to be under one flag of the Keshe Foundation flag. Science in exchange for technology. Exchange of the knowledge equally amongst each other, that no nation is superior to the other, as is one nation. This will be the biggest dilemma for the world leaders to transmute. This will be the most favorable things for the man of the earth. Those leaders who are truthful, they are what they say, will choose this. Those who have to hide will choose this. The process of understanding the technology is important. The process of understanding the changes in science and technology is important. The changes is inevitable. The knowledge is with us. As I was just telling Rick before, the first transmutations have already been completed. We are not looking to transmute. We have to understand the process. Our team has to understand how to achieve that process. Transportation by matter state will need reactors. Understanding of the gravitational fields in matter state. Transmutation needs understanding of the cosmic rays and their gravitational field forces. The transmutation system will be what we call in the hand of our people in matter of days. How they understand it, how they convert the knowledge to tools and systems that later on this knowledge is imprinted in the soul of the man, then every man can transmute. In the next weeks, we'll concentrate on this part of the technology. This part of the technology was completed in Iran and we have tested many times. The understanding of the process of transmutation, the understanding of the methods of the transportation, and how to cross one to another will be engaging men of science for thousands of years to come. In initial stage, many people will double in both directions, in both systems. And then gradually, the consensus will set how we travel, the way we travel, where we use transmutation and where we use transportation. In the coming time, as we strengthen the knowledge of our knowledge seekers, we'll endeavor to, in some teachings, live, to show the manifestation of the transmutation. Colonization as a human race, physicality is a difficult task. Colonization through the soul transportation of the man is the easier way, practical way, where man taps into the energy of the universe through cosmic rays and cosmic fields and does not depend on a banana and orange in the lab. The process of transmutation for us is completed. Just the time it takes our team to understand how to achieve it, how to design a system to do it, which is a matter of days and weeks. The process of transportation was completed in 2008. They're just playing with it to keep busy till the governments become knowledgeable. and get ready for the process to come. A combination of the use of the transportation and transmutation will give man the confidence of traveling across the universe, hiding inside a physical dimension while you're learning about the environment. This is what it is when you travel with a transportation system. You literally hide inside another structure till you understand the environment which the structure is in. Then you transmute to the new position. Or you do the reverse. In a way, this is that life-gaining container for man to switch, where the planetary system or the environment which you want to live is here. You transmute into dimension of the safety of a physical structure, understanding it, and then you transmute further. Sometimes you don't need this interim as you learn completely, but for the time being, you can even use this to land on the new environment, then you can transmute. These are the process of the teaching. Man has to learn step by step. And now we have opened this here. Fuel, matter energy, cosmic rays, and cosmic fields. You have to learn how to convert from one to another. And sometimes use one inside the other. Now, as I said, past few weeks, we start laying the path, the roadmap of the man to become a member of the universal community through his soul, not through his physicality, through his central energy, where universal community cannot be on the way according to the matter state for billions of years from the other side of the universe to come here, where using transmutation magnetic fields is instantaneous. There's a lot to learn. A lot to learn. How to hop from one point to another, that you see the cosmic ray of this planet, but you don't see the other one you're going to. And from here, you can see this. So you have to learn the process of hopping. It's like changing train stations to another train. In the cosmic rays, you work with the sight of the vision of the fields, feel the strength of understanding in a not a visual sense, but in magnetic field sense, the connection of the fields to what they connect, that you can pick up the strength of to reconnect to. Now you understand, in the past 3 or 4 weeks, slowly, step by step, I'm opening your eyes, your understanding into how the future will hold. What technology in the dimension of this part makes technology in this part obsolete. In weapon technology, in defense technology.
Okay, that's the end of our excerpt from the 536 Knowledge Seekers Workshop.
And of course, this is another offering you can find in the store, the transmutation preparation sessions, which I believe has been going on since December of 2022, perhaps, where we started with dining with the Creator and elevation of the souls of the prophets, elevation of the abusers on this planet. We had sessions for addiction and so on. And yes, you can find this on the Keshe Foundation website store, where you can order your virtual seat and become part of this process. And again, there's a preparation going on. Sometimes it's quite subtle, I would say, and sometimes you will feel the energies. But the biggest part of this is helping to perfect the systems that the Keshe Foundation is delivering or offering. And as Mr. Keshe said, the transmutation has already been completed, but I know they're still testing. The systems are in their infancy, and they're continuing to be developed. So you can be part of this development. As Mr. Keshe said, do you want to tie the hands of the foundation and have them go out and look for billions of dollars to pay scientists to find out? Or do you want to keep the Keshe Foundation free for humanity, that we can develop and understand these technologies without any outside influences? And of course, you may receive a small gift by participating in this. And I don't mean gift in the matter state, but I mean gift in the plasma state, where certain energies may be added or certain energies may be taken away from you that you don't particularly need. You're interacting with the system. The system is cataloging everything, and it's almost in a way like the AI, but much, much farther advanced, as it can operate in a number of different dimensions. So we encourage you all to participate in these sessions. I was just thinking, gosh, if I was a Hollywood star, would I want to do transmutation? No one would recognize me at the other end of the system, because the atoms and the structure will take a shape of the soul of that area. So I wouldn't be recognized as a football star anymore. I wouldn't be recognized as an actor anymore, or maybe a news broadcaster. So I can see where the common man will have no problem in accepting the changes that the transmutation manifests. But if I'm somebody of prominence, as Mr. Keshe was just describing, the Iranian president transmutes to Washington, he looks American, this would be quite stunning. Or the American president transmutes to China and he looks Chinese. This will be just beyond belief. So they'll most likely take the transportation method because of their vanities and their lack of understanding, and thinking they're all it in a way. So some of us will use both systems. As Mr. Keshe said, this is going to tie up the science of man and understanding which to use when, or what to embed, and how to travel, or part of the way travel in a craft type system, part of the way transmute, and the rest of it. So this is a whole understanding, but primarily this is for the development of the system and cataloging different energies. Mr. Keshe doesn't tell us exactly what sort of tests the teams are running in the background. And it's almost like the sessions are very quiet for the most part. You may hear someone sneeze or cough or something like that, but you may have 50 or 100 or 150 people in these sessions, and they're all very quiet. And this is, in a way, what I perceive to be the interactions within the universe, that you probably won't see anything written, or you may not hear anything spoken, but you're going to have to feel and understand emotions or energies. And this is what the transmutation preparation sessions are about. And as I said, you may receive a small gift. I know some of us felt that plasmatic water when we had the sessions of dining with the Creator, and other little energies that are put in. Again, the energies are subtle, but many times you can feel them at certain times during the process. And sometimes these sessions can last for 8 or 9 hours or 10 hours, depending on what is being done in the background. So we encourage you all to be part of the development of the systems. And of course, when they're perfected, they'll be then reaching thousands and millions and tens of millions and hundreds of millions simultaneously. So it's part of the development process, and it's also part of keeping the Keshe Foundation free for humanity to achieve some of these beautiful things that happen in these sessions. And most of us have different things going on within our structure, as we're all unique. And I don't know if Mr. Keshe is isolating certain groups. Sometimes we're all together, as he's shown us on the charts. But again, we're offering ourselves as in a way, a test pilot or a test subject. And yes, you do have to pay for these sessions. Usually it's the third Friday of every month, and the session is €300 plus the value-added tax, which you can book on the store. So we invite you all to be part of the development, in a way, just by offering yourself as a participant in these sessions. You can also sponsor people if you have the ability to do that. So there are donations you can make to the foundation, and just put a notation that this is for someone to be invited to a transmutation session, or for the research centers which are being set up, or just a general donation that the Keshe Foundation can use in a very judicious way, let's say. So again, these sessions are quite unique. This is something that's probably never happened before on this planet in this way. And it's all being done remotely. And as we can see, the doctors have melted kidney stones from thousands of kilometers away. They've started the process of growing teeth. They've actually built walls of the heart of babies remotely. So this is what we've seen also in Gaza. So some of you who've been in these transmutation preparation sessions have also contributed to the work that's going on there, where we're remotely feeding, if you can understand that, just using a headphone and a cell phone, or perhaps not even, just connecting with the system directly. And of course, this will be developed into a larger app or application, I think, where the Keshe Foundation has in the store, a universal sort of for energy, for food, for travel, and the rest of it. So we encourage you to be part of the process. Yes, you do have to pay. And yes, it's a little bit expensive for most of us, but I think in the long term, it's well worth it, as you're delivering the changes for the team to understand, and for humanity to benefit, and to make a peaceful planet out of this planet. So this is what these transmutation preparation sessions are meaning to me. Anyone else would like to add anything? Feel free.
My dear Mark, I only want to add that you have beautifully said, as you always do, the detail, the clarity about the transmutation preparation session. Yes, we can say if you have to pay, we can say exchange of energy. And this is the beauty of this process. Any process, we are going through this knowledge. And yes, of course, this transmutation is variable, like in me it is kind of a different way it will work, in you it's kind of a different, and the whole humanity will be like that. But the oneness is the ethos, the universal unified field in which we are. And this transmutation is about this, to understand, to create this balance in the field, that even you are transmuted or transported somewhere, and you'll become like that, or you will understand that if your intention is like that, like you become a Chinese when you go to China, but you can be a Chinese without changing your physicality, say ni hao. I will say, then of course, to go to any place, the you, the I am presence in you will be always there with the ethos of goodness. So this transmutation is all about, you know, changing, adjusting with the new creation. We can say new, but this is, you know, we can say ancient, the universal, as the universal creator, as we were never separate. As Mark always said, that when you nourish other soul, you nourish yourself also. So this is also a transmutation process. When you nourish other souls, you nourish yourself, and you change from inside. You know, you understand what is it, what is this kindness is, what is this love is, what is this compassion is, what is the moral is, changing into this beauty and totality. Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, and there's so many creatures. I was just thinking on this planet that if you were to transmute into a fish or a butterfly or something else, you'd have quite a bit more respect for that entity once you've experienced its existence, and then you were transmuted back to a man. You'd look at a fish in a much different way, or you'd look at a worm in a different way. That could be someone who's made a transmutation and appeared in front of you as a worm. Would you step on it? Would you put it in a place that's safer? Maybe it got caught on the cement out in the sun. Or if you were to go to Africa and you took on the black skin from the white skin, I think it'd give you a whole new dimension of viewing other entities from that viewpoint. And this will create so much more peace and balance between all the entities. And of course, with the trillions of plants and animals on this planet, that gives you a lot of opportunity to experience different physicalities in a way. And this may be a pre-stage in a way for going out into the universe and then taking on shapes and colors and sizes that you could have never imagined you could be. But the beauty of it is, I guess you always have the sense, even though the physicality may look strange, as Mr. Keshe said, these fingers are not mine, but it just gives you a sense of the ability of the soul of the man to take on so many different colors and shapes and dimensions. But at the same time, it's still the same soul of physicality and the same soul of the man within. So this is beautiful, and I think we'll start on this planet. And once we achieve this, it'll become quite a game to play. But I think it'll bring you a peace outlook towards, in a way, whatever you've transmuted into, or if you haven't transmuted into that particular as a mosquito, it would still give you much more respect for the mosquito. This is just some thoughts I thought I'd add.
Yes, Mark, I will say, you know, as you have said, this is the beauty when we go to Africa or when we go to Bangladesh and we are the same, you know. There is a phrase in India, we say in Hindi, Ganga gaye to Gangaram, Jamuna gaye to Jamunaram. Gangaram's house, when we go to Gangaram's house, we became the Gangaram house family member. Like this, you know, we just become soluble, merge, and this is the beauty. And Gangaram was free to speak to me because I am like him, you know. And Jamuna, when we go to Jamunaram's house, and we
Exactly.
become Jamunaram's. Yes, of course. Thank you. Thank you, my dear.
Right, and I think the next session is on the 17th of May, and this is a 6 series of sessions which will conclude in June. I believe Mr. Keshe said there'll be some very exciting times in June where you become an observer. I don't exactly know. Well, we know what observer means, but there may be something special in that session. And then, of course, they'll probably start a new series of sessions for the balance of 24. I'm not sure about that, but I think this is, again, a continuation of a process, making small changes month by month, and then allowing the energies to settle in and do their work in a way. So we invite you all, if you can, to either be part of this or to help sponsor another member to be part of this, as it'll extend to all of us eventually. So thank you all.
There is
Okay.
supposed to be
Which-
a
yes.
presentation slide here somewhere.
We're just looking for the background, I think, Rick. He's probably locating it.
Yeah, I'm looking for it too. Just hang on a second here.
All right.
Here we go.
Okay, this is MOSFEC again. So the preparation or the participation in transmutation goes a long way, both in space, in time, and dimensions. Mark was mentioning about a fish transmuting to become a fish. The statement is small. The implication is deep. The fish you ate today on your plate, assuming somebody you know transmuted to be that fish, would you eat it? So this is a question we come face to face as we delve deep into transmutation. In our exploration, let's say, of the planet, we transmute from a man to a fish, dive into a river or an ocean. We didn't plan to end up on somebody's plate, did we? So one of the aspects of transmutation, about transmutation of the capacity of the soul, is not to eat, because we have the ability to completely transfer energy. Those who have participated in the preparation activity through that Mark was talking about, some of them have felt it, that they got filled. Their hunger was removed. But that preparation is just a preparation, not the end of the story. That's just the beginning of the story. Then comes the subsequent work of making that capability of not being able to eat a permanent ability. How do we go about doing that? We practice. We practice when we get the opportunity. And I have tested this myself. It is possible to 100% and even beyond 100% transfer energy and avoid food altogether. This is now a reality, tested reality. I hear some people in China has been able to achieve it to a certain degree with the assistance of GAN's water, for example. But according to my tests, and it took time because, one of the things we have to take into account that we live in a society, people around us pushes us to participate in this age-old activity of eating, consuming that fish we were talking about. But what practice from the preparation and the practice that follows, there is a bit of a distance, bit of an effort, bit of an exploration of the plasma space, or the space of the universal field that is necessary. The Knowledge Seekers Workshop have some information for this kind of exploration, but it's only pieces. The understanding of the field is not just in words. It's part of that energy or information, whatever you may call it. We will use the customary words. Is embedded within the field, so we have to participate in it with our soul. This is one of the most important aspects of starting with the preparation and going to the ability to actually do it. There are people at this point in the planet who does not participate, for example, in plasma science, who already have this ability. You'll get hints of it as we talk further. And so Keshe Foundation is making it widespread, making it a part of the planet's story. Yes, some people are keeping the light on of this knowledge so that the knowledge lives on, albeit among a few, but it's there. Similarly, there are other aspects. It's not just not eating, not drinking, and that kind of things. There are implications at the level of our interaction with other fellow beings. We have to respect those of our family and friends who have been eating for a while. We can't force them, or we can't say that you must do it. We can set an example that it is possible. That's all we can do. And not make it a magic or miracle or whatever, some high-flying guru or whatever, and other things we can come up with. So this is one area of life where, to an extent, one way or another, people have participated, some have gone further in various parts of the world at this point. I'll take another one. Another one is the healing ability. We are capable of transferring energy as an individual to another individual, if that individual is willing to accept that energy and heal them very quickly, as it has been done through the enhancement unit. It is also possible between two individuals. And once again, there has been considerable tests done. I have done it, others are doing it, I know that. And the speed of recovery sometimes is unbelievable. Once again, we can bring up the word miracle, it's useless, really. But how do we do it? We talk about giving in our One Nation, One Planet, One Race workshops. This is a giving, but it's a giving that we give to a fellow being who is in difficulty. But even that person may be in difficulty, but that person may not accept the gift. And it is a gift, we cannot force it. And I know of people who know what I have been able to do, and they've seen it. I mean, for real in front of them, but that they're not willing to take this offer. So what do you know? And there I say, okay, it's your choice. You are the most honored person here in a way. I am only the giver. So unless they are willing to receive the gift, I'm in no position to do anything. So, can we give this gift to ourselves? That's a wonderful thought, isn't it? We too have our own problems, as usual, often. It is a little more challenging task because just like the fellow laying next to me, who doesn't want to take my offer, we ourselves are often not in a position to take our own offer. It's a very odd situation, but it is a reality. Some areas it's easier to do from my own experience. Some areas, some things are, well, I still don't have a clue why I can't do something very simple. I have done fairly hard things, but something very simple, removing one particular spot on my skin, for example. It's nothing like, it's not very noticeable. It's very simple, but still it's a hard thing. Why? So I'm not participating enough in the field to know what to do. So there is an attachment factor involved. So often we have to, the physicality attachment that we have, sometimes it's necessary to detach. And so certain aspects of soul's functioning in certain areas still needs exploration. It's a never-ending story. It's a beautiful never-ending story, actually, but it's still a never-ending story. So these are applications of transmutation that we can do. And I'm also bringing up some challenges as we become more familiar in this application of these kind of ability to transmute. Similarly, as we travel, similar difficulties will arise, and some of these challenges were mentioned by Mr. Keshe in the last workshop. But these are not the only areas we can apply, and there is a lot more here. But I would like to highlight something. It was not in last Knowledge Seekers workshop, but in the previous Knowledge Seekers workshop, which is about 2 weeks back, 2.5 weeks back by now. And there was a mention of a certain technique that Mr. Keshe said in order to expand the field of the soul, which involved using 2 hemispheres of the brain and creating 2 different emotions, which creates a 3rd field, which in turn interacts with the soul of man. So I have done some tests on this particular application, and it's actually a hint towards a much broader application, because as you notice, our physical body is more or less symmetrical with a slight difference between right and left. So you can do similar field creation using 2 lungs, 2 kidneys, 2 parts of your sex organ, similar things. And the emotion, the brain is not the only part where you have emotion. The other parts are quite responsive to, or we can create emotion there as well. And some can be extremely powerful. So one can use additional reactor system under certain circumstances to reach other objectives. So this is something that I have done some practical tests, and I'm sure others know about it. It's not that, Keshe Foundation and even outside of Keshe Foundation, people know about these kind of approaches to creating fields. We must understand that the knowledge of transmutation on this planet is not new. It's very old. It's not just available as widely. So, and I'll give you an example here. Local example from the area where I live in Bangladesh. There is a person who lived about 8 years or so back. His name is Lalon Shah. You can look him up. He formed a group called Baul. And he never left his village, but he developed this knowledge quite a bit. And his teachings were done through songs. He was blind and he never recovered his sight because he always said, I can see more than my eyes can do. But Lalon Shah, this particular person, so he composed songs, and it's very much a big part of Bengali literature now. These are poetries and songs written by this guy, and very advanced knowledge was conveyed. To what extent it was conveyed to how many people, there is no record of it. I mean, of course, things are transmitted here directly from soul to soul. So I will use a particular song because this relates to stuff that I was talking about. So I will say he used very simple village Bengali, but the concept conveyed are extremely sophisticated, and you'll see in a minute. So the song starts like this. I'll say it in Bengali first. Dhorte parle. I can't sing, so I won't try singing. Dhorte parle. আমি ধরতে পারলে মনোবেরি দিতাম পাখির পায় পাখি কেমনে আসে যায় খাঁচার ভিতর অচিন পাখি কেমনে আসে যায়. I'll say it in English now. If I could catch it, I would put the rope of my spirit the feet of this bird, this unknown bird that comes inside this cage and goes away. Of course, he is referring to the soul. And at the end, towards the end of the song, he says something like, this cage is made of raw bamboo and it will fall apart and the bird will leave permanently. And he says it. He ends his song like mentioning his own name, and Lalon says this song crying. Is it a cry of joy? Or is it a cry of sadness that the bird left, or the soul left. So within the song, there are technical aspects such as carbon-16, mention of it in a language of a simple village language using indirect. There is no scientific knowledge here, so there is no science language here, but it is mentioned, a number specifically. And there are a few other references around it of how to go from 14 to 16 and beyond, which is 18. And in our Knowledge Seekers workshop, we have come across 14, 16, and 18. So anyway, so I'm just giving you an example of plasma science knowledge rendered in a song in village Bengali. Now let's get back to the practical application, which is mentioned at the beginning of the song. I am trying to tie the rope of the feet of this bird with the rope of my spirit. This is this interaction of soul with the soul of physicality. A rope that he mentions, tying the feet of the bird, is the magnetic field connection of a certain type. You can have different kinds of rope or different kinds of interactions between the two to create different kinds of effects. So it's a very, very technical song, or a lot of precise technical information is embedded in it. It is for the general audience. People love this song. Actually, it's a very popular song in Bengali language, and both in India and as well as in Bangladesh. People know by this, so this unknown bird coming and going. Coming and going is just like the soul living at night and coming back, the dreams and all that. So it's a bamboo cage, which is kind of like somewhat, the holes are way too big for the soul to be properly contained. So, but these elements are all play in the technical use of the interaction of the soul of man and soul of physicality. And this is not the only place. There are other references in Persian literature that I know of. For example, in Rumi's poetry. And so many of you may know of Rumi because he's believed to be one of the most popular English language poet these days because of the translation by certain individuals. But in any case, back to our technical work. Now this thread of interaction between the soul of man and soul of physicality. So we can conjure up, so to speak, different threads for different purposes, different types of interaction. As we invoke different emotions in our body to create different kind of reactors or field interaction, as I was talking about earlier. So this is very much part of learning how to harness. I'm using the harness very deliberately, harness the capacity of soul, using soul of physicality and the emotions that we generate both at the physical level as well as in the interaction of soul of physicality and soul of man. And in relating these emotions, we can achieve a lot. We can make tangible physical changes. I won't mention too many examples that involves myself because I just don't feel comfortable with it. But it is possible to make tangible changes. And I have mentioned I'll mention the patient that I treated who had this, big problem on his hand. He could not work with his hand. I've mentioned this several times, in bits and pieces and in details as well about he was healed very quickly. So, and similar things are possible to do, possible with oneself, but the effort is considerably more. And interestingly, this effort in surmounting our own physical attachments of various sorts, we get to understand more about ourselves, our interaction with the physical fields we never knew we had. And this even applies to when I was learning how to avoid eating. A number of preoccupations I have about this notion of eating is unbelievable. So I have to pull all those apart to get it, to the point where it now works smoothly. And it's just unbelievable, but it's a very fascinating journey. So, and sometimes am I this stupid? And sometimes I would just laugh out loud. Is that, well, what have I been thinking all this time? So anyway, it's an amazing journey. So I encourage everybody to kind of try it. It's really interesting, and in doing so, you may find that in your neighborhood somebody who is not a plasma scientist is practicing it way better than you have been doing it. So as I have discovered, there are people who are quite competent in doing this, and they're quite precise in describing even what they're doing. And so anyway, so it's a kind of like a fascinating story of how practice brings into fold all kinds of other things that are not even plasma science but exist on this planet. So we don't have even, one of the things that I'm saying is that listening to Knowledge Seekers Workshop, yes, it is important, it's useful, and it's as I continuously refer to them, but there is more in the field, and there are situations that arises in our exploration where it is not covered in any Knowledge Seeker Workshop. We have to seek it and find it, but it is there in the universal field, and we are part of this universe. Our soul is this universal field. Why are you waiting for? Thank you very much.
Moshfik. খাঁচার ভিতর আছি, পাখিকে নিয়ে আসি যায়, তালি ধরতে পারলে মনো বেড়ে দিতাম, পাখির পায় কেন নিয়ে আসি যায়. Gratitude for this song to Lalon Phuki.
The song, and
Yeah.
as you can see, it's a very nice song. And in my sheer incompetence, I rendered it rather poorly. So I apologize for that. But as you know, we have help when Shweta corrected the situation. Thank you very much.
Gratitude, my dear. And this song, I wanted to be a singer always. I am a singer. But this Baul Giti, Baul song by Lalun Fakir was outstanding. What I can say, I changed. This triggers this transmutation always in me and many. So thank you, my dear Moshik. This transmutation was then before was a pressure to detach, to understand more and more pressure. But now it became, as you said, it's a gift. You take it. I am in your door. Knock, knock. But then this has become more easy. And thank you. Thank you. Gratitude to all uh, beautiful, beautiful teachers of Keshe Foundation and all souls, beautiful souls of Keshe Foundation and the beauty and totality they bring to humanity, brought to humanity. Thank you so much, my dear Moshfik. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much.
Hello to everyone. This is Andreas, Universal Council support member for the German-speaking community. I will speak about the KF research centers and development centers. At first, I have the excerpt from the 524th Knowledge Seekers Workshop from February the 8th, 2024. The Keshe Foundation announces today the establishment of the second cycle of knowledge seekers to join the Keshe Foundation in the United States in Arizona. You come in for a 3-year research development. There is no 9 to 5 job. It's a 24-hour job. And the latest technology, which now we have achieved, will become open to operate, to test, to develop, and the center outside China in United States will be established. You can join us as a student, the same as the one he did in 2013. We started with you in 2014, and it will be a combination of 90% research and 10% teaching, if that. You become researchers in the new space technology. The knowledge what is gained in China, and secondly, we open another section, as we promised, in the city of Isfahan in Iran. The 3-point teaching centers of the Keshe Foundation will complete. We will start this training, or this what we call research development, sometime around June, July of this year. We only accept up to 100 scientists as a base core to start with. Keshe Foundation website will announce how you can register, the fee for it to be. You pay to be a researcher, and you join us in developing the space technology through transmutation and transfer and what we call Spaceship. You choose. The latest knowledge, what is gained, will be in the hand of what we call the research centers. This allows us to develop a parallel technologies that is open to all men at the same time. We have 32 knowledge seeker languages. We ask you from each language up to 3 people you can appoint, you can pay to be, or collectively each group or each what we call language pays for 1 knowledge seeker or 2 or 3 knowledge seekers, And if you achieve your 3, you take a second nation as your child to look after and support their scientists to be in the center in Arizona. We do not need to set up things and use in Arizona. Everything is in Arizona. Keshe Foundation Manufacturing and Wellness Center is already established, and you know the center. So we are going directly into process of production, testing and evaluating. And we have called on American government to join us in this new space technology. The same as we invited the Chinese. We have invited the Iranians to join us in the same way. So those of you who want to be knowledge seekers, researchers in Arizona Center, you can register, and we close this registration very quick because 100 can be reached very quickly from other universities, scientists and space centers. And we would like knowledge seekers to be part of it because you brought us here. You supported us to be here. The Arizona Center, which is privately owned between John and me, will become of the operation of the Spaceship Institute. So, as it was said, Mr. Keshe said it, there is happening something very, very big in the world of science. And in this job, you have to do with breakthrough technologies which have never been here before and which are here for the benefit of every inhabitant of the planet, that are not technologies which destroy or harm others. They only benefit others. And this is the only way we can, in a way, rescue the planet from the damages we do as humanity. And if your wish is and your passion is to work in this area with the plasma technologies, and you love it and you do it 24 hours a day, then it's the right thing for you to join, and you help all of us to be there, because you do develop for the whole humanity and much more. A lot of governments or people from governments will join, like from the NASA or other space agencies, but other maybe industrial areas or all other areas which are interested in working with this technology. And a lot of times they get paid from their employees or collaborators. And for them, it's not, money is not a problem, but especially at the knowledge seekers. And I know from Universal Council members and support members, they would like to be there, but they have no money. They need our support. And I know the knowledge seekers are the ones who are especially there with the right ethos and are here to really develop only for the benefit of all. And if you then, they need our support. And it's possible that that knowledge seekers say in your language groups, I would like to do that. And then you make, for example, donation campaigns in your group, and then be able to pay the 25,000 per month, per year for the Keshe Foundation. Or you can also donate directly to the Keshe Foundation. For example, you are from the Spanish community, you can then make the donation to the Keshe Foundation and write there Arizona Research Center Spanish community. And if there is then somebody out of the Spanish community and he has booked this or wrote to the Keshe Foundation, then they know, okay, there is somebody from the Spanish community and he would like to be in Arizona. We have received the donations, and that's how we can help to bring the knowledge seekers to there. And here you see the donation website. You can donate for everything. In the case of the research centers, you can also just donate with the purpose research centers. So there is no language included. It's just then up to the Keshe Foundation for which knowledge seekers or whomever the donation is taken or used. And this is a way how we all can help to bring the people in who do it, for example, since 10 years as volunteers. And if you are there then in the research center, it's not just working, it's also 10% teaching, Mr. Keshe said, because all have to learn a base to be able to work together. And I'm sure the knowledge seekers, which the souls calls them to there, give everything for all of us, that they make their work as good as possible. And by the way, because you see the donation page here, the IBAN and so on, everything what the Keshe Foundation is doing is for the benefit of all, not only for the humans, not only for the animals and the plants, it's also for the planet itself and for all beings from the whole universe. And so every euro is not thrown out of the window, it's here to serve all of us. Does somebody has questions to this topic? Okay, then thank you.
Thank you, my dear Andreas. Thank you so much for explaining. Thank you. Now we can move to the next presentation.
Okay, this is the interview with Mr. Keshe with Eleonora Fanny with the Italian knowledge seekers video. So we'll have a look at that. Starting at about 1 hour and 5 minutes.
So, the last question, and then we'll wind things up because today is also New Year's Eve, and in short, we've taken too much advantage of you. If you could take a leap into the future, 5 years from now, what do you imagine you would see different from today in the world?
Okay, last question. We know you are very busy.
Last question.
Just for today.
Can I consult with someone? I have a little frog. Maybe the frog can tell you. 5 years is too short. We look in 10, 20 years' time. If what we have agreed with the Chinese, what we agreed with the Iranians, what we are negotiating with the Americans, don't forget it's just Keshe Foundation and a lot of proof by technology, a lot of scared. So as an organization, we can see what's the next step. By introducing these new technologies, we are cornering the governments in accepting new technology. Then, if we go the way we go with the nations we are going with, you don't need to imagine because the technology is on the table. It depends how slow we introduce the technology, not how fast. The secret with this technology is to what the slowest speed, gradually we introduce it, but all the governments agree. There's a big problem. We have now under development a system which you don't need electric cars. If we put this technology out tonight, and you know the Keshe Foundation has a disease called public teaching, and on a Thursday morning, which is tomorrow's teaching at 9 o'clock, we go and teach everybody how to make it. No one with the right mind would have spent a single penny on Tesla car. Electric cars are obsolete. No one with the right mind, you saw it in the presentation, we can produce as much gas as you like in a bottle like this. We open the box, you saw it. Nobody will buy fuel. The technology in our hand, which some of you sat in it, you didn't know how to trigger it, we didn't show you. We sat people in the system, but we didn't tell people how to trigger it. And 3 or 4 people who triggered it went into different conditions, but they partially triggered it. So you can go from here, the system is here, we don't need to develop it, but we have to tell you which press button. We gave the switch, but we thought how people can switch to elevate or stay or go down. Everybody went down. A few people tried to jump, they got hurt. So you can go from here to Washington in a few minutes, a few seconds. We have to sort that out. It's not just the energy, it's not just the car, it's not just the national security. How fast the government accept that 1,000 American soldiers can be sitting right in Tiananmen Square with a flip of a finger. Would the Chinese put 10,000 soldiers in the Oval Office that half of them are on the street and change the government? Would we get idiots like Netanyahu having this technology, going for everything which his little brain can absorb and create more problems? The problem with us is how slow we can work with the governments to bring these things step by step in. but everybody knowing that the steps are there, that they are coming in. And this is how Keshe Foundation has worked. It's in the knowledge seekers. We teach them how to do, push the public. You saw the Chinese government officials and military here. We push them from there. Somewhere we open the two together. The same will go with Iran. The same will go with the United States. And then we use this gradually. You don't want to put how many people Tesla employs. 10,000, 20,000 people on the road? Yeah. How many thousands of people at oil refineries and gas production goes? We have to find alternative situation, alternative border control, alternative agreements that we don't have governments to tax us and create different regimes. We agree one taxes, doesn't matter, and taxes doesn't need to be with a payment you pay. It's a service. You provide a service, that's a service. There is no wages that controls you. You're worth 10,000, I worth 2,000. Is you provide me all the necessities of my life. I live a comfortable life. And I do my best, and I serve the nation. I clean the street. I serve the doctors. I research in how the other people be. When we get to that, government needs to organize. This is why we brought the gold. The gold is a, the stick. You don't go where we want to go. We tell everybody to make kilo of gold. Yeah? You don't go the way we don't want. You don't want to go. We teach everybody how to make energy for rice. American farmers go bankrupt tomorrow. There is nobody wants rice because they can make it in the house. And the proof of it is all of you knowledge seekers receive the gas which was produced by a small farmer. And you can imagine how much his harvest has increased, that he sent nearly 100 kilo, 200 kilo as a gift for the knowledge. So we need governments first agree how. We teach everybody to do it, but we bring it for everybody to understand, because then ruling becomes not United Nations, but it becomes one nation, which is united. And then we run. And it's time. Educating is time. People are greed has to be sorted. I'm more important than you, so I'm wealthy than you, so if you're wealthy, that means a problem. I tell you a story. And I stop. Keshe Foundation and me personally, we have enough wealth. And some of knowledge seekers came to my house in the Sun. I live in a nice house in the Sun, which as part of the house we allowed the knowledge seekers, actually the first knowledge seekers education was done in the building in my house area where I live. And we came across one of the richest families of Italy who live in the north. They control, what is all the machines which makes all the socks in the world. You know what I'm talking about. The gentleman is 75, 76, married a 30-year-old young girl, and you carry a doll, you pay for a doll. So they had a child, same age as my son. We came to know them because they went to the same private school in north of Italy. We were not happy with the school. They were not happy, so we decided we open the school. She said, no, you don't open the school. We open the school, then your child can come. So she came, we said we invited them to arrange how to open a school for children like us in north of Italy. When she came to the house, she saw where we live, the way we live. She said, you're much richer than us. This is not acceptable. So what she did, because we agreed, they opened the school. I can give you the name of the school. And then when my child went there, after 2 weeks, she said, he cannot come. He says, you are richer than us. He cannot come. I wanted to show you we got more power than you do. This is an intelligence of the Italian woman married to one of your richest men in Italy. So if a stupid wealth is the division of a child not being educated, we need a lot of educating those people who work through their brain and the clothes. And this is the problem. This is where we need to educate. Position, status, fake. And this is what I always say. I learned a lot from this experience. That how narrow-minded wealth has made a poor girl who's married a rich man to decide, I want to show I'm wealthier than you because you live in a bigger place. So now you see how slow we have to do. Our problem is not uneducated. Our problem is the richest who want to stick to the power and the money, which has no value anymore. And that's where the problem sits. 5 years, 10 years. I can make as much diamond as you can because I know how to make in the kitchen and you know the same. So where does it come? How fast? How slow? How much the governors are allowed to lose control because they're called the president, the prime minister. Those are the problem, not the ordinary people. How to convince them to let go of the seat of power, fake power, but who can? That's the limitation. Tomorrow morning, we've done this before, it's not something new. We run a 5-day blueprint how to make gold. I promise you by next week, all the banks will be flooded with gold. We spent 5 days how to make the space fuel. We've done this, is not something we're going to do. In 2017, we spent a week showing how people to make an energy system called magravs. They're still after the energy coming from the plug. If you went in that room in the back, there's over 40 magravs running. But our technology, how come we can make it, we can fly with it, we can produce gold with it, and you lot can't? Because we didn't teach you. So that's the speed, how much we get the government. That's why we negotiate with the government. Let us, people, have the knowledge. We get the patents, the key, the knowledge in 2011, 2012 to all the governments. They didn't share it. 2016, we opened the patent. Everybody knows about it. We did the same with the magra. 2017, we opened the magras in Italy. It takes me 10 minutes to show you how to make 200-300 kilo of gold a year and see what happens. But we changed the economy. Governments won't be allowed, and I'm sure by tomorrow night I won't be alive because the next time is the energy, the gas, and so it's not how fast, it's how we change the leaders, and that's why we negotiate with governments.
Grazie.
Thank you very much.
Per tutti quelli che vogliono avere più informazioni.
For all those who want more information, in the description box below this video you can find the link to both the Keshe Foundation YouTube channel and the Telegram channel for Italians, where you can interact, ask and get some more information. Goodbye everyone, thank you for being with us and see you in the next video.
Thank you, my dear Rick. Thank you, Eleonora. And thank you for this beautiful interview. Thank you, my Mr. Ashman, Mehranji, and Keshe. We all love you. Thank you. Thank you. Now we can go to the next presentation. Here, we are here. Bring the needs and wishes from your community to the Universal Council as one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace. Welcome, welcome, beautiful souls. Welcome.
Thank you, Sweta. It's Dean here. I'd like to, as usual in this particular part of the teachings and the Universal Council meetings, I'd like to say a few words. Bring the needs and wishes from your community. So we've seen many communities represented here today across planet Earth, from very many different nationalities and voices and different tones and the way they speak and the way they present. But it's all a human being. It's all a soul. It's all being present in the moment and communicating and transferring knowledge. And this is the essence of not only the universal community and the council's position, it's also an understanding for humanity to catch up, to be present, to understand what this opens up and brings forward for each and every single one of us as a soul of physicality and the soul of man. And the soul of man is a very high, beautiful field strength condition that we've been taught by the understandings and the teachings of a soul that came as present in this moment to deliver and elevate humanity. It's Mr. Keshe. There are many others, and there are many souls that are present and have great understandings. But these teachings are from Mr. Keshe and from his creator stance that has been brought forward to elevate humanity in this moment. So many of the nations that have spoken today, the Italians, the Germans, all the nations, the Mosvek and Sweta, and all of them, there's so many beautiful nationalities. But as I said, we're a human being, we're a soul. And that understanding has a meaning. And there's a even higher meaning, that when you understand the interaction of your soul in the physicality, then as Mosvek was given his beautiful presentation and knowledge that he brought forward, if you listened to it and you understood some of it or received some of the knowledge, the field strength from his soul that reached your soul and elevated you, gave you a new position, a new understanding. And then from that position, you will find the other souls see you, understand that you've taken another position, received a new position, and you've been elevated. And then the souls will give to you more because you've come to understand a tiny aspect. The knowledge is, as Mr. Keshe has said many times, we are like the first step, the very first step of understanding of the universal knowledge, the creator knowledge. But we have to take that step. And you and I and all the souls in physicality and non-physicality in the energy transfer of being present know that this is taking place in this moment. Your soul knows that you are present in this moment. It's guided you to listen to these very words, this understanding that's been brought forward to you for you to receive. It's on a much more profound and deeper level than what we've come to experience maybe before. Maybe some have received more in other ways. But these particular teachings, this understanding, is a universal understanding that brings forward and creates for you that space gap, that energy flow, that superhighway of knowledge. And when you transfer that knowledge to another, that giving, the other receives. And what do they receive? They receive some energy, soul energy, field transfer, field dimensions. What does that mean? What does it mean to you? For many, it means nothing. And yet in nothing is everything. And for many, it means something. It meant something to me when I first understood a tiny, tiny fraction of what was being spoken about. Plasma. The entities of plasma. The soul dimensions. Field dimensions. Physicality, non-physicality. The interaction of the fields constantly flowing. Tapping into the universal condition. Receiving knowledge. Thank you, Rick. Rick has very kindly put a picture on the screen. So this picture is plasma that's been captured and frozen in time. It's just water, it's plasma water. So this was a field interaction that was some plasma, a plasma device was put in some water, and it's frozen. It was frozen over a period of time. And you can see the rays, you can see the interaction of the fields, magnetic fields, through the interaction of the H2O. And in that fraction of time that doesn't exist, but for us it does in the fields of the Earth, we've captured this moment for us to see the physical fields. If you look behind the actual streaks of the actual water itself actually streaking away from the plasma, that behind it you see this much bigger plasma, a field strength. This was a pen, a device that was made to help alleviate certain energies in the body. And you can see the concentration of the plasma that's flowing down through, and then the rays that come off of it. This interaction in the physicality that touches through the combinations of the C12, sorry, the physicality, and then those plasma rays are touching the physical body, but also the transition of the carbon-14, that universal condition, that soul position that understands and contributes to this knowledge. So within that water structure, the amino acid that is connected to the planet Earth and the carbon-12, as MOSFET was speaking about, and then we transfer that into another dimension, maybe carbon-14, maybe 16 or 18, as MOSFET was explaining to us. So these are new conditions, new understandings for humanity to come to experience and to be present with in this moment. There's no stopping it. The words were spoken earlier on. The plasma has been opened. It's present on planet Earth. It always has been present, but the knowledge now is being given to each and every single one of us. And you notice each of us that receives the knowledge understands part of it. Why did we come? Why do we feel we need to experience this? Where do you get it from? Is it from your thinking brain? I personally don't think so. That's a condition of a matter state, condition of thought. When you go into the next aspect of the creation, the soul, it knows everything in this moment. It receives the knowledge in this moment. And it guides you, takes you to a position, lets you experience it so that you can elevate and you can share this knowledge. And this is how it's given across the, not just planets, but solar systems, galaxies, universes. This knowledge is vast. And it's a gift for humanity to understand in this time, in this moment. And as Mr. Keshe was saying in the wonderful Italian interview, how long do we need? We could do it in an instant. In this very moment, we could receive the knowledge in totality. Or we can wait 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 years in the condition of the sphere of planet Earth. That's our decision. That's our condition of the physicality. But when we do take the leap, when we take this jump to the next level, and we start communicating and letting our soul gently guide us into position, you will find that many things will transcend, will be delivered to you in the environment that you are present in this moment. And it doesn't matter if you are a man on the street or a president, a dog, a cat, fish, it really makes no difference. The knowledge, the understanding, the beauty of plasma is for each and every one of us as a soul, which sits in the structure of each and every one of us, in every atom, in every part of us, in the sphere that is us, a field strength of emotions that are caused by the interaction of the fields of planet Earth with the connection of the amino acid, the carbon-12. And then when we release these emotions, we get through to the carbon-14, 16, 18. We transcend, we transmute, we create new conditions, and we become part of the universal community in this moment. And we always have been and always will be. Thank you very much for listening. Sorry, Sweta, that went a little bit long, but yeah, that's just the way it came out. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful, my dear. Thank you. Thank you so much. As always, you beautifully explain, and this helps all of us in this transmutation process. Thank you. And
Thank you,
there was
Sweta.
a wish from Claudia. I lost. Thank you, my dear. There was a wish from Claudia. I lost the internet for a second, and I lost the wish. Claudia, could you say the wish? My
Hello,
dear.
Sweta. Hello, everyone.
Oh, welcome.
I
Welcome.
wish, yeah, my wish is for helping and give peace to the hearts of the people that live in the south of Brazil, because have much rain and floods last week until now, and more than 30,000 people are without their homes, and lost some people of their families. So Brazil is like very sad with this, and so my wish is for helping them. Thank you.
We are present, my dear. We are present. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Sweta, I'd just like to say to Claudia, yeah, we definitely are present, Claudia. We as souls that understand and come to realize that we're all part of the same process. And when we see another soul receiving something, then as a soul, we would like to give to that soul for them to receive the energy so they can be helped. And this is what Mr. Keshe has been doing many times with the plasma conditions. He's been sending field interactions and feeding people in Gaza, and obviously the transmutations and everything across the planet Earth. So we're in position, and we are awaiting further knowledge from Mr. Keshe to take it forward. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you for that beautiful wish.
My dear Rick, any sharing or any question as we are all learning? Anybody?
Yeah, I don't see anything on the YouTube in particular. And is there anything else in our chat for wishes? I don't think so. I think we're clear on those.
Clear.
Clear to go.
So next slide, my dear Rick. We are here to serve, not to be served, my dear, beautiful souls. Always, always. The Universal Council. And I will say again, join Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, love, merge, come to the beauty and totality of Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute organization, my dear beautiful souls, and be in joy and peace, I will say, as we are all universal soul. So thank you for being here. Thank you so, so much, my dear. Thank you. Salam, namaste, salute.
Okay, well, thank you to all the members of the Universal Council and support members for today's presentation. Very lovely, and we thank them very much. And thank you all for attending today as well. And our next public teaching workshop is the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which starts Wednesday, May 8th at 7 a.m. Central European Summer Time. And that's the same as 10 p.m. Pacific Time on today, Tuesday, May 17th, or May 7th. And that's open to folks, whether they're newcomers or old timers with the plasma technology. And of course, we have the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up on Thursday, May 9th, and that'll start at the 9 a.m. Central European Time. Okay, well, Sweta, I think it's time for that. Time
well,
for
from the old timers.
a little relaxation
music.
and clapping and dancing. Yes,
Be
indeed.
enjoy, beautiful souls. Be enjoy always.
We missed your joyful voice last week, but we still played it. So thank you for introducing the Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit music version, which is how we end our shows. And again, thank you everyone for attending, and bye for now.